question is from Jazz. Hey Jazz, how did you meet your hubby? Okay, so we met in an orientation at a hospital. At the time I was working hospice care. My husband is an OR nurse. I was seated in my chair early, the way I have always been, early and on time, and I have my purse in the chair next to me, and here comes, didn't know at the time, my husband, late. Should have told me something, late. And the only seat available in the orientation was the one with my purse in it. I told you guys I'm a bag lady. My bag was in the seat, my bag needed a seat. So my bag was in there. So he comes along and he needed a seat and I had to move my bag. And basically I rolled my eyes at him and I turned my back on him. And somehow during the course of the orientation, it was lunchtime, and we got to talking. We had a lot of things in common. He had been divorced, and I was going through a divorce, and that's how we met. Thanks for your question, Jess. And this question is from Samantha D. Hey Samantha, what is your advice for a flight attendant who one day wants to be married and have kids? How do you juggle being a wife and a mom? Love your videos. Thank you, thank you. Wow. My advice. Well, as you know, I don't have small children. My kids are grown. From the flight attendants that I've spoken to who have children, a support system. Usually when they're away, from what I'm told, they have their parents watching their children, or some of them hire a nanny, babysitter. If they're married, they just switch off different, I won't say shift, but if the husband works during the day, the flight attendant will take trips that are PM trips or at night. So I guess that's one way. But if you're not married yet and you don't have children yet and you would like to become a flight attendant and you plan on doing that down the line, come on board, get your career going so that you can build up some seniority. By the time that you have children, well, married, have children, you'll have that seniority and you can call the shots a little bit better, meaning that you'll be able to have more flexibility within the flight attendant world. I think that would help out a great deal. Organized. If you're going to juggle this career along with being a mommy and being a wife, you got to keep yourself pretty organized. And remember, don't try to be perfect. It's not gonna work. I mean, that's even if you don't even have this job. You do what you can do. You spend time with the kids when you can. You spend time with your husband when you can. Yes, you got to be organized. You got to figure out things right there. But don't try to be perfect. That perfect mom or that perfect wife. She does not exist. But you just do the best you can. Thanks for your question. And X2Fly says, how long should I expect it to take to be hired as a flight attendant? It could take a year, up to a year, before you even hear phone calls sometimes. It could take 6 months, it could take 2 years. I'm not sure about airlines overseas, but in the US, it all depends. Anywhere from, you know, and it depends on what the airline is looking for at the time. If they've gotten rid of a lot of people, they need people to come in, but expect a year. I hope I answered your question. Oh, there's another part to this question too. When on reserve, can you pick up trips on open time instead of sitting on reserve? Oh, Troy. I'm sorry, X2Fly is Troy. Hi, Troy. Sorry, I didn't realize that. Hi, Troy. All right, so yes, you can when you are on reserves. Now, okay, I can't speak for all airlines, so disclaimer. I'm only going off of my experience. Yes, you can pick up trips even when you're on reserve. So let's say you have a Friday, Saturday, Sunday all month you're on reserve, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If you'd like, you can pick something up out of open time. For those of you that don't know what open time is, and they call it different names at different airlines, what it is, it's basically shifts. Let's put it that way. Shifts that you can pick up. That's the only way I could explain it, but we call them trips. So if you want to pick up a trip and you're going to San Diego, San Francisco overnight, why not? You're not working those days. You can pick it up, even if you are on reserves. Thanks for your question, Troy. Sandra Russell. Hi, Sandra. Sandra asks, what is the best and worst part about your job? Ooh, let's start with the best. I'm not gonna lie. That I get to go to many different cities. This job allows me to travel for little to no money. That's the best part for me. Can I do part 2 of that? The second best part, I have a best part too. I love people. I love people. I love meeting people. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, we all have those days where, you know, people tend to, you know, I won't say it, but you know, for the most part, I love talking to people. The worst part about this job, the worst part, my opinion, just my opinion, because you asked me, okay, worst part for me is reserves. As much as I try to love it, to talk myself into loving it and saying, oh, it's not that bad and this is what I signed up for. Reserves. Oh, that's the worst part, but you have to do it. I don't have a choice. And I think because with reserves, for example, today I'm in Manchester. I was home until 4:30 is when I got my call. I was good for 2 days. I'm thinking in my mind, oh, I probably won't get called. There's nothing out there, you know, on our boards or in open time. There's nothing there. There's no trips. Everything looks smooth around the country. Please. They called me up, gave me a trip, and I had to leave my husband. See ya. And get myself to that airport and on that plane. And here I am. Thanksgiving Eve. Yeah. That's the worst part. Thanks for your question. Okay, this is from DB. Hey, DB. DB asks 3-part question. Okay. One thing you wish you knew before becoming a flight attendant. I wish I knew about taking care of myself better. My rest, the food, the staying hydrated. I didn't know enough about that. In training, they don't really go over those things. In training, it's a lot about safety, a lot about emergencies, evacuations, because that's what we're there for. Not very much about taking care of your body and what flying does to your body. And with me, the food. Every time I walk through an airport and I smell food, I think I had to have it. Nobody's fault, my own. That's my own personal issue. But I will tell you this, I was flying, when I was based in Baltimore, I was flying and didn't even think of it. I wasn't drinking enough liquids. Got off the plane, got my car, I'm driving down 295, I'm on my way to my mom's house. All of a sudden, my body just became overheated. I thought I was having a heart attack. I mean, the symptoms, I guess, except for I didn't feel tightening of the chest, but it was like I felt like I couldn't breathe, and I was clammy, and I was sweating, and I was like nervous and jittery. Make a long story short, went to the emergency room. I was dehydrated extremely. Yeah. So those things I wish I would have known how to take care of myself. And one thing you wish you knew during training. Once I was in training, I wish I would have studied more about an aircraft. So one thing you wish you knew before becoming a flight attendant. I wish I knew how wonderful it was gonna be. And one thing you wish you knew during or after probation or first year. I wish I would have known my contract better. It's very, very important, you guys. If any of you decide to become a flight attendant, you want to become a flight attendant, if you have a union, all flight attendants do not have unions, or airlines do not have unions for flight attendants. So important to know your contract. That's one of the main things, because while you're on probation, you're on edge, okay? You don't want to rub anyone the wrong way. You just do what you're told. If scheduling says do this, do this, do this, you say okay. But if you know your contract, and I'm not saying just scheduling, I'm saying just across the board. I don't want to blame scheduling. They're wonderful. They're wonderful. Know your contract. That's what I wish I would have known. DB, I hope I answered those questions. These are good questions. They're tough. They're making me think. Thank you. Leanne S. Hello, Leanne. She asks, do you have any pets? Where are you originally from? Loving your videos. Thank you. No, I don't have any pets, but I love dogs. Oh my gosh, if I could have a dog when I retire, oh yeah, I'm gonna be one of those people. Bringing my little foo-foo right on board with me on my lap. Yes, I'm gonna be one of those. Where are you originally from? I am originally from Jersey. Yeah. My dad was in the Air Force, so when I was very young, we left Jersey. And we moved to North Dakota, we moved to Italy, Maryland, and Nebraska. And when I raised my children, I went back to Jersey to raise them. So, originally from Jersey. Jersey girl. Yeah, we don't pump our own gas. Thanks for your question. Okay, from Carol. Carol S. Hey, Carol. Is it more difficult for qualified people over 50 to be hired with so many in their 20s applying? What advice would you have for the 50-something hopefuls? Every airline is different. Some airlines will only hire individuals under a certain age. I'm not sure which airlines. I think there's one overseas. You gotta be like, I don't know, under 30 or something like that. Some of the US, they will hire us, hopefuls, that are over 50, over 40. Do you have a chance? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, some of the airlines more than others hire us. And think about this, because we, as people, are living longer, things are changing. So 50 is not old. And there's a lot of pluses being 50. 50, usually you have a good work ethic. You have a work background. You are responsible. Nothing against the 20-year-olds. Don't be throwing stuff at me. Nothing against y'all. I'm just saying about the 50s right now. We've had our families. We're pretty much done at 50. Moving on to grandchildren. We don't usually have a whole bunch of people at home or anything like that. We're more flexible. So, yeah. You definitely have a chance at 50. Yes. Go ahead, girl. Get that application in. Thanks for your question. Thank you guys so much for your questions. I am going to, I didn't even sip my tea one time, but that's okay. I still have my cookie, which is so good. It's so late. You guys, it's so late. And like I said, it's Thanksgiving Eve, so, you know what? Oh well, I've been doing really good. I'm gonna eat this, take the war paint off, wrap the hair up. In that bed right there, I'm hitting that bed. Hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Take care.